Hold on. Guys, can you guys hear me? So I was literally ready to go live. I had everything set up. I fucking clicked, like, I went to go live, and then I realized none of my audio was going through on OBS. For some reason, fucking Wavelength decided to break and was not working on OBS. So I had to, like, adjust all my settings. Like, right now, my music is playing as if it's coming through Discord. It makes zero sense. I don't know what the fuck happened. I literally have been gone for 5 days. How did fucking OBS break like this? What the fuck? I took my meds. Alright, chat. So we got some big updates. Blaze messing with the settings. That's the funny thing, is he didn't use my PC the entire time I was gone. He was working. Well, he was either at work, sleeping, or at the hospital with me. So he wasn't like, he wasn't there the whole time. Okay, hold on. I'm still gonna give people, like, a minute or two to, like, get in here, because I started, like, 5 minutes later than I intended to. I mean, now it's, like, 20 minutes later than I intended to, because of the fucking scuff. So I'm gonna give people a few minutes to come in. Let me get my Wii Shop music. I don't want to get distracted while I'm telling it, because, guys, my brain is fucking deep fried. After this past week, oh my fucking god. I am so deep fried. That's a good point. Let me turn off some redeems just so I'm not getting distracted. Let me turn off sound alerts. I don't think I have a way to turn off I don't think I have a way to turn off Tangia while it's happening. If I can at least turn off the, like, channel point redeem sound alerts. Let me turn those off real quick. Let's see, turn that off, turn that off, turn that off, turn that off. So did you guys miss me? You guys miss me while I was gone? I missed you guys. Boy, do I have some stories. Well, one big story to tell you guys. Oh my god. It's been a fucking weekend, like, it's been insane. Also, if I seem out of it, it's because I am out of it. My brain was essentially tortured this week while I was in the hospital. No! Not your laptop dying for me being gone! Alright. I'm just gonna keep Wii Shop music on for while I explain this. Okay. That's just, well, I'm, like, even worse now. It's so bad. Wait, where the... Guys, I had a fucking thing open so that I could read it, and then I fucking closed it like a dumbass. Oh no, I restarted my PC, that's why. Okay. Alright, chat. So here's essentially what happened. For those who are here and are like, Lumi, where the fuck have you been? Because you weren't, like, at the last few streams, or, like, haven't, like, been looking at social media and stuff. So essentially, the past 5 days I've been in the hospital. My neurologist had me admitted to the hospital for epilepsy testing. Because, oh wait, let me put on emote only mode. Hold on, I forgot to do it. I don't have my keyboard in front of me because I have my drawing pad. Alright, there we go. Emote only. Enter. There we go. Okay, so essentially my doctor had me hospitalized the past 5 days so that we could, you know, check out my brain, see what's happening with the seizures, figure out the exact area of my brain that the seizures are, like, starting in, and to try to, like, figure out, like, what my seizures look like. Because even though I've had epilepsy for 5 years, I still get very confused about when I'm having a seizure and when I'm just having weird neurological symptoms. So, essentially, we found out a lot about my brain this week, let me tell you. Don't worry, it's not bad. I'm prefacing right now, it's not bad news, it's good news. So don't freak out. We have good news today. Good news today. Alright. So, essentially, when I was in the hospital, they had a whole bunch of wires attached to my head, they had multiple heart monitors attached to me, and I had no privacy whatsoever. They had one big camera above my head, and then they had a monitor next to me with a camera on it and a person watching me 24/7. Literally zero privacy. I was not allowed to get out of the bed unless I was going to the bathroom to take a piss. And even then, I had to call a nurse to come to my room and help me go to the bathroom, and then I had to keep the bathroom door cracked, and they had to stand there while I used the toilet. And if I got up on my own, multiple alarms went off in my room. Like, there was literally alarms on the bed, so if I got off the bed, it would immediately start blaring an alarm. So the nurses would come running. And I only know that because sometimes, like, the alarm would go off when the nurses were there and helping me get out of bed. So, no privacy whatsoever this whole week. Um, but we learned a lot about my brain in the 5 days that I was there. So, to kind of, like, start with this update, I need to tell you about how my old neurologist did things, because while it seems irrelevant, it is very relevant to what we found out about my brain. So essentially with my old neurologist, whenever I did this, like, EEG testing, there would be a camera while I was there, but I had, like, complete privacy, and I would only do the testing for, like, a day or 2, and then I'd, go home. But also at night, I would take the equipment home with me, and I wouldn't have a camera on me when I was sleeping at night, right? So, because I was only ever getting tested for 2 days at a time, and since it was, like, at my doctor's office and not in a hospital setting, they couldn't just, like, take me off my medication, and it was very limited with, like, the stuff that they can find. So, when we did the testing back then, uh, at least, like, the first time around, obviously I wasn't medicated because we didn't know that I had epilepsy. I just realized I forgot to make the sorry, the music's distracting me. I was gonna have this play nonstop and I forgot to click the button. Okay. So, the first time I had the testing done, obviously I was not on medication, and what he found was that I had the essentially what they're looking for is either obviously a seizure occurring, or people with epilepsy have these spikes in their brain waves in the area of their brain that the seizure is occurring, right? And when they find these spikes happening, that's, like, in between seizures, and it's indicative that your brain is, you know, a little extra excited and irritable and more likely to seize, right? So, when my OG neurologist did the testing, he found that my brain waves were spiking from, like, one side of my one temporal lobe, and then would go to the other temporal lobe, and then would go back, which is what is seen in focal epilepsy. So that's what he diagnosed me with. And then after that, he put me on Lamictal, which is apparently better for focal epilepsy. Like, it can be used to, like, do all types of epilepsy, but it's better for focal epilepsy, right? So that's what he put me on, and then the seizures kept occurring and, like, the weird symptoms kept occurring. So then after I was on the highest dose of Lamictal, he put me on Keppra as well, and then the activity kept happening, and we weren't sure why, and then I lost my health insurance. So we never got to the bottom of it. Um, so then, we jumped to my current neurologist. He works inside the hospital that I was getting tested at. So he was, one, it's an epilepsy center, so he knows what he's doing. Like, he's, like, really good with epilepsy. There's, like, 4 different tiers of epilepsy center, with 4 being the highest. It's a tier 3 epilepsy center that I was in. So, like, they're really good at what they do. They know what they're doing. So when he looked at my medical history with my original neurologist, he thought I had refractory epilepsy because, clearly the medication was not working for me. I was still having seizures despite, being on 2 different medications, which is why he said that, I would need surgery most likely, because that's really the only thing you could do when you have refractory epilepsy. So, and in that case, when you have focal refractory epilepsy, they remove part of your brain. So that's why he set me up for all the testing to do, because, like, we needed to figure out what part of my brain was the problem, where in my temporal lobes was the problem, which side was the problem.
Hi, Gloomy. Hope you're doing good today.
Hello, I am. Well, I mean, as good as I could be. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, so we were trying to figure out the exact part of my brain that we needed to take out. To jump to this week, I'm in the hospital, and we're doing all the testing and stuff, and since he works in the hospital I was getting tested at, he was able to come to me every single day in the morning before his appointments to give me, like, an update on what they found the day before and what he thinks is going on. So, for the first day that I was there, I was still on my medication, and it was very similar to what my old neurologist found, is that my brain waves were spiking on one side of my brain and then would ping pong to the other side. Actually, hold on. I have a little diagram I set up. I prepared a diagram for you guys. Oh, fuck! It's not open because I had to restart my PC. Hold on. Hold on. 1 second. It's loading. Okay, there we go. All right, so I have my results right there, which obviously, if you don't know anything about neurology, that probably means little to nothing to you guys. But essentially, the part of my brain that has the seizures is this little green part, right? Is it? Hold on. Okay. Yeah. So this little green part of my brain on these sides, that's where the seizures happen. And essentially what was happening is the activity would start like here. Wait, I need a different color. That's not showing up well. Let me do like a pink. So it would start here, and then it would move to this side of my brain, then move back to this side of the brain, and move back to this side of the brain. So I wasn't having seizures, but it was epileptic activity, which is indicating that I was probably going to have a seizure soon. So that's how it was when I was on medication. When he took me off my medication, my brain slowly started to change the way that the activity was showing in my brain. So instead of kind of ping-ponging back and forth between the two lobes, what happened was they were kind of starting on the end and then slowly peaking together on both sides, kind of forming like a weird thing, or at least that's how he showed with his hands. Like they were kind of starting low on both sides and then peaking together. And he was like, okay, that's weird. That does not happen with focal epilepsy. That happens with generalized epilepsy. And that is not, like, I was not diagnosed with generalized epilepsy. I was diagnosed with focal epilepsy. So that makes things a little more complicated. So he kept me longer because he was like, we need to figure out what the fuck's happening with your brain because we don't know what type of epilepsy you have now. Because you might not even have focal epilepsy. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Whatever. So the more that he kept me there, the weirder my brain activity got in my temporal lobes. So by day 4, my brain apparently, instead of like doing what it was the first day, was moving as one unified mass. Just insane activity on both sides of my brain, unified together. And because of that, that means that I am officially diagnosed with generalized epilepsy. And if you don't know what generalized epilepsy is, that is when you seize on both sides of your brain. So this entire time, we thought I was only seizing on one lobe of my brain and then flipping to like the other or whatever. So it was only ever happening on one side. But it turns out we were wrong. I'm seizing on both sides of my brain, which makes things a lot more complicated. So essentially, because of this knowledge that we have now gained about my epilepsy, we think, at least what my neurologist said, is that there is a possibility that the reason why my medication was not working years ago when I was being treated by my original neurologist is because the first medication I was put on is better for focal epilepsy when you're having seizures on one side of the brain. It can work for generalized epilepsy, but it's not like the first go-to treatment for it. So because of that, we are now going to wait and see how the medication is, working in my brain. So like if I'm on Keppra now, which is apparently good for both, and it's better for it works really well with generalized epilepsy. So we're essentially going to take some time to see, is this medication working for the generalized epilepsy and are my seizures going to stop? Now, the good thing is if it does not work, chat, and they do decide that I do in fact have refractory epilepsy and I do still need surgery, the surgery is different from the one we originally thought. So I do not need to have one part of my brain taken out. Apparently that does not work for generalized epilepsy. He said that if I do end up needing surgery, I'm just getting a device implanted in my brain. And from my understanding, when you get these devices implanted, they don't even cut your skull open or anything. You get a device in your chest and then the wires go up to your brain. And then when you're having the seizures, or about to have a seizure, it will shock your brain and stop the seizure from occurring or make it less severe. So we don't know if I need surgery yet, but if I do need surgery, it is a lot less invasive. Recovery is a lot quicker for that type of surgery. I could be back to streaming probably, from what I'm reading, within a week or two. I'd probably only need to take a couple weeks off, and it would fix the problem. But like I said, we don't even know if I need surgery anymore. It's possible that the reason why I was continuing to have seizures is because I was just not on the correct medication for the epilepsy that I do have. Now, while this is good news, it's really good news that I don't need surgery, at least for now. The case is still a little complicated, right? So, here's the thing. Let me go back to my other screen real quick. Oh, fuck, I just realized my screen deck is all the way over there. Blaze moved it while I was gone. Hold on. Oh, God. I'm dropping shit. Okay. So, what makes this a little... Oh, I forgot to turn off Nia. Whatever. So, basically, what makes this a little more complicated is, one, he thinks that I did have a seizure, potentially, when I was there, because I did have an episode one night where essentially, my hand got really numb. And, actually, I wouldn't even describe it as numb. It was more so, like, it was burning. It was burning, and it was tingling. And I was like, I should probably, like, it didn't go away after a few minutes. So I hit the button. Essentially, they have a button that you could hit if you think you're having a seizure, or could potentially be having a seizure. And it sets off an alarm for, like, the entire hospital floor, right? So when I say alarm, I mean, it sounds like a fire alarm is going off. It's fucking blaring, and then all the lights turn on in the room, and then a ton of nurses and doctors run into the room at a time. So I hit the button because I'm like, okay, this is a weird symptom that I haven't had before. And then I started sobbing for no reason. Like, I don't know why I started crying, but I was uncontrollably sobbing. And I'm like, what the hell is happening to me right now? And then I felt like I was going to vomit. Like, I got this rising sensation in my stomach. And I literally kept telling the nurses, I'm like, I don't know why I'm crying. I don't know what's happening. I don't know why I'm crying. I can't control this. And, they did like an examination and everything came back normal. And they were like, maybe the sensation in your hand is carpal tunnel and you're just like panicking because like, it's scary if you might be having a seizure. And I'm like, okay, reasonable. But my neurologist looked at the footage. He said that no seizures showed up on the like EEG, but he looked at the footage and he said that my behavior was very much so that of somebody that's having a seizure. Because apparently when you have seizures, it can cause those like uncontrollable like emotions. Like it can make you extremely overwhelmed and make you cry and cause that like rising sensation in your stomach. So he said that it's possible that the reason why none of my seizures have been caught on an EEG is that they might be occurring too deep in my brain. Or they happen so quickly that it just does not show on the EEG. So it is possible I had a seizure on, like, during my examination, but we can't, like, confirm it because of the fact that it did not show on the EEG, but I had all the symptoms of a seizure. The other thing is that, so with generalized epilepsy, right? You know how I said I don't have stereotypical seizures? Yeah, so it turns out generalized epilepsy does cause stereotypical seizures, which I was sitting here like, okay, but I've never had a stereotypical seizure before, where you drop to the floor, you convulse, you lose consciousness, all of that. And he basically said it is possible that I have had those seizures before, and there was just nobody to witness it. Or like they happened in my sleep, and because I was sleeping, nobody witnessed it. So, and because those seizures cause you to like lose consciousness and your memory. Like when you have that type of seizure, if people don't witness it, there is a very real possibility that you'll have no idea it happened. Because you'll just get back up and then go about your day. And you'll be confused and you'll have no memory of the event happening. And since I spend 90% of my time alone at home, because Blaze goes to work and he's busy and he's doing stuff, he said there's a very real possibility I've been having full tonic-clonic seizures and have had no idea whatsoever. Which is really terrifying when you think about it. Like, what do you mean that I've been having, like, full-blown stereotypical seizures and have had no fucking idea? Like, that's fucking crazy to me. But it's good that we know now. He did say that while this was very, you know, we learned a lot from this visit, technically now the type of epilepsy I have is more dangerous, you know, than the epilepsy we thought I had before. So he said that I really cannot do high risk behaviors now, especially this weekend. I'm probably not going to stream like super long today because of it. But he essentially was saying I need to like stay out of highly stimulating environments. I should probably not go clubbing, especially when I'm at like high risk of having seizures like I am at this moment, because I was off my medication for 4 days. He said I absolutely cannot drink anymore. Like now it's like 100% I cannot have any alcohol from here on out because it's too risky of me having like a full-blown seizure. And yeah, so no risky behaviors for me. I gotta be a good girl and not too bad stuff. But we learned a lot. Alright, now I'll take you guys off emote only mode, and you guys can ask any questions you have. I just knew that if you guys were asking me questions... Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Gloomy Squad. I knew if you guys were asking questions, I would have gotten distracted. But thank you for the subby! Hager, thank you for the 20 stream streak. Cognizant, thank you for, let's see, the 7 stream streak, Big Daddy. Thank you for the resubby diverse. Thank you for the 15 stream streak. I'm really bad at reading your usernames. I apologize in advance. We got a 3 streams. I'm just gonna start saying the stream streaks. A 3 stream streak, a 105 stream streak, and a 15 stream streak. And another resubby. Thank you guys. Oh, and another 15 stream streak, and a 30 stream streak. And 200 biddies. Thank you guys. Oh, there you go. I forgot to hit the button. There you go. You guys are free. I freed you from your shackles of the prison that you were in. So now Gloomy can only have risky behavior by being foul-mouthed, pretty much. But yeah. So we have learned a lot. Hi, Gloomy. Sorry, I just came in. Could you summarize? No problem. In short, I was misdiagnosed with the wrong type of epilepsy 5 years ago, and I actually have generalized epilepsy, so no brain surgery for now. And if I do have brain surgery, I'm just getting a device implanted in my brain, which is a lot less invasive. Oh yeah, I'm still not allowed to drive. Like, now he was like, it's really extra dangerous for me to drive. No driving for me for the near future. Until we could, like, get this all, like, handled and stuff. Yeah, I have general epilepsy. I was just completely, misdiagnosed 5 years ago because of, like, how short the testing was. Yeah, it's honestly crazy. Will you be able to drive once it's under control? Yes. So no flashing lights. I do not have photosensitive epilepsy, but he did say I should still avoid at least like flashing lights in the sense of like I shouldn't go to a club because it's already so overstimulating, and then add the flashing lights and stuff. Even though I don't have that type of epilepsy, he doesn't want me to risk having a seizure. But like, since I haven't had seizures from flashing lights, I think I'm okay. Is general epilepsy better than the false diagnosis? No. I mean, better in, like, the treatment, like, the surgery that I would be getting, but it is considered the worst diagnosis, because the seizures are more dangerous. Yeah, I will not have a jar with part of my brain scooped out. I will not have that. But yeah, it is very good news, and I'm very happy I have my neurologist now, because we would have never known. We would have never known. Like, I'm still, like, a little shaken to my core. Like, I'm happy we know, but I'm also like, holy shit, what do you mean I've been having seizures and not knowing? I mean, like, obviously I've been having seizures not knowing it, but like dropping to the floor and convulsing, I've been having those seizures and have had no idea? Like, that's fucking insane to me. It's crazy. Yeah, exactly. So he said that I mean, he said Lamictal is still supposed to work with the type of epilepsy I was diagnosed, like, with generalized epilepsy, but he said it is possible that's why it was, like, it's better with focal epilepsy, apparently. So, he said, "Do you get Grand Mal?" Yeah, yeah. Grand Mal, tonic-clonic. I think they're called, like, multiple things, but yeah. Yeah. And, I mean, like, it makes sense looking back because, like, you think you'd notice a lapse in time? Well, that's the thing. So, like, the more that I think about it, remember how a few weeks ago when I was super sick, I said that there was like that 2-hour period of time where I have no idea what happened? Now, I'm not saying I had a seizure for 2 hours, but I'm wondering if I had a seizure, like a tonic-clonic seizure, and then just like got up and went about my day, and like I was so like out of it from the seizure, that's why 2 hours passed and I didn't notice. How are those? Oh, speaking of me saying things wrong. So, my neurologist did say he wants me to keep track of any weird symptoms I have. Um, because we want to, like, get a better idea of, you know, potential auras. Although he said that I probably won't have auras, but like any like type of like seizure, potential seizure activity, right? And he said it is possible that whenever you guys catch me saying stuff wrong on streams, that it is epileptic activity in my brain or me having a seizure. Because the part of my brain that the seizures, like the activity is occurring in, is my temporal lobe. And the temporal lobe on the one side of the brain is what controls your speaking. So he said it's possible that the activity happening in my brain is causing a misfire when it happens and makes me say the wrong word. And he said that's why, like when I gave him examples, I always say a word that's very similar sounding to the word I meant to say. So like gum, lungs, they sound kind of similar. So he said that what probably happened is I had a misfire because of epileptic activity in my brain, and it made me say the wrong word. So, what I need you guys to do is whenever I say anything weird, and it like if I say a sentence backwards, if I say the wrong word, or anything like that, I need you guys to clip it. I need you guys to clip it so I can show my neurologist and help him, like, because right now we're trying to kind of figure out, like, the whole mystery of my fucking brain and get a better idea of what's happening. So I do have to say thank you guys for doing that in the past, because my neurologist, like, when I brought it up to my neurologist, he was like, yeah, that absolutely makes sense. That is the part of your brain that is having all this activity. Yeah, a wrong word counter. Essentially, he wants me to keep a diary of any weird symptoms I have so that I can keep track of it. But looking back, it does make sense. A lot of this makes sense. Because in the very beginning, especially when it was like really ramping up, because apparently the longer you're off medication, like your brain can learn to be like more aggressive with the seizures and stuff. I was literally like, I would wake up in the morning with my mouth completely bitten up and I'd have gigantic bruises on my legs. And like I was diagnosed like with the focal epilepsy, with the focal epilepsy, he said that it was that I was having more nighttime activity, right? And he said with what I was describing, it sounded like I was having seizures in my sleep. But now it makes more sense that I was most likely having grand mal seizures in my sleep. And that's why I was waking up with bruises all over. Was that just what? Nah, that was just my brain's still a little deep fried from not being on medication. Those days I had like nonstop activity. It was like really bad. But yeah, I was breaking out with like I was literally gigantic bruises. I don't even know how to describe it. It was so bad. But yeah, so we got answers. It's good news. If you guys have any questions, I could try my best to answer it, but I'm still learning. I do follow up with not my doctor, but like one of like the doctors in the hospital, like the physician assistants. I follow up in 2 weeks with one of them with any questions that I do have. To try to like he figured that I'd probably need some time to like think about it and like come up with questions and stuff to ask. Just got here. Can you do the TLDR update? Yes, I got you. I was misdiagnosed by my original neurologist with the wrong type of epilepsy. Instead of having focal epilepsy, I have generalized epilepsy, which is why my medication was most likely not working in the beginning with my old neurologist. So no brain surgery for now, but if I do need brain surgery, it's just a device getting implanted in my brain. So, oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. I should pin it. Can you still safely have weed? I mean, weed can be a treatment for seizures. So, it should be fine. He didn't tell me not to smoke weed. And I feel like considering the fact that I live in a state where it's recreational, if I was not allowed to have it, he probably would have said it. He mainly said the big thing is absolutely no alcohol. How does the doctor mistake a diagnosis for another type of epilepsy? It's because I wasn't there long enough for my testing in the beginning. And then every other time I was tested with my original neurologist, I was on medication. So my brain reacts differently based off of whether I'm on medication or if I'm off medication. When I'm on medication, it looks like I have focal epilepsy. But after being off medication for several days, it was clear that I had generalized epilepsy. So, yeah, that's why. So it's more so my neurologist said that it's because of the way my old neurologist does his testing, and since it's not done in a hospital, it made a lot of sense to, like, why I was misdiagnosed. I'm gonna head out happy you have a better neurologist. Thank you! Yeah, I am too. I'm so thankful. One of the resident that was in charge of, like, my floor, he came to talk to me the one morning, and he was like, "I'm so sorry that we kept you here for 5 days. Thank you for, like, you know, cooperating and not, like, being mad at us for keeping you." And I was just like, listen, you guys are getting answers. Like, I'm not mad. I mean, do I want to go home? Yeah, but, like, you guys you guys are getting answers for me, so, like, I can't complain. How was the hospital food? Atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. I did find that I was able to order food, like, ahead of time, so I was able to kind of, like, better pick my food to make sure that it wouldn't be, like, gross, which once I started doing that, it was a lot better. But the first few days, oh my god. I was barely eating the food. It was so bad. Alright, TLDR. First neurologist misdiagnosed my epilepsy, which is why meds might have not been working. I have generalized epilepsy, so worse diagnosis, but surgery to fix if I need is just an implant. Is that a good TLDR? There we go. Oh, fuck, it wasn't letting me pin messages earlier. Hold on. I had to do, like, a command to make it pin. Pin. There we go. There we go. Ah, now my OBS is being weird, not letting me scroll. Maybe putting cameras around your place to catch if they happen. Yeah, so that was gonna be the other part. I gotta talk to them in a few weeks about this, but I think that I might need to get one of those seizure detection watches because I'm home alone all the time, and if I've been having these seizures without knowing, like, that's really fucking scary. But the problem is that they are insanely fucking expensive. Insanely expensive. Like, I was looking at them, and I think, like, the one that was, like, the most recommended is, like, $400, and then you have to spend you have to pay money every month for a subscription. Can't regular smartwatches do that? They can, but they're not as good. Regular smartwatches are better for, like, fall detections, and, sometimes they can, like, track, like, heart rate differences. But since seizure watches are intended to track them, what they do is they can really detect if you start shaking a lot. They detect massive changes in heart rate. and they will immediately contact emergency contacts to let them know, like, hey, they're seizing, get help. Like, hey, Bloomy's having a seizure right now. Go find her and check on her and get somebody to help. Now, I don't want to, like, start a dono goal for that until I, like, actually talk to the doctor and be like, hey, do you think this is something I should do? Because I do think that would be important to know. Yeah, kind of like Life Alert, exactly. Except for it automatically does it. Like, hey, you fell. My Apple Watch thinks I've fallen when I hit my desk lightly, so I don't know how much I would trust that. Yeah, that's the problem. It's a mix of that, and since Apple Watches aren't made to do that, like, that's not their intended use, apps that, like, try to track seizures really drain the fuck out of the battery. Since I'm not gonna see my doctor for 2 weeks, I downloaded one of those apps last night just to try it, like, just to see, because now I'm, like, really scared because Blaze is working overnights. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what if I have seizures while he's at work? I mean, I probably have been. But,
So is a bit a scent? If that is the case, would this be 1% of the watch?
well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for the biddies. But yeah. Wouldn't it freak out every time you stand up since your heart skyrockets? That's the other issue too. The POTS definitely makes it a little more complicated because my heart is wonky to begin with. That was the other interesting thing that we found while I was in the hospital. They had to check my vitals every 4 hours, and they were like giving me my heart meds and giving me all my medications that I needed and stuff. And my blood pressure was low all the fucking time. All the time. Like, every time I woke up, it was, like, extremely low, and they couldn't give me my heart rate medication. Because my heart rate medication is, like, it lowers your blood pressure, and then I have a medication that's supposed to raise my blood pressure, and, my heart rate was always insanely fucking low. In fact, like, I had to, like, the first nurse that noticed it took my blood pressure 5 times. She was like, that can't be right. There's no way your blood pressure is that low. And after like the 5th time, she was like, wow, it really is that low. That's not good. And then she gave me my blood pressure medication. And then yeah, pretty much anytime, especially if I just like woke up from sleep, it was always extremely low. Yeah, so part of the problem, like, I was thinking, like, if it comes down to
4
it,
months.
yeah, 4 months. I was thinking that it would be good to get like a seizure alert dog or cat if it came down to it. The problem is I'm allergic to cats and dogs, which I can handle the allergies. Like, I have had cats and dogs in the past and I've handled it, but my sister is deathly allergic, so she would not be able to come to my house anymore. And obviously, if I'm like, going to like a family gathering or something, I can't bring the animal with me. But also, like, if it comes down to it and my doctors are like, yeah, you should probably have one, like, at that point, it's like, I gotta care more about my health at that point, They may have so the problem is my sister's even allergic to hyperallergenic dogs. Like, she is like any dog. It doesn't matter if they're hyperallergenic, if they, like, shed less, any of it, she's still deathly allergic. Like, her allergy is so bad, she has to have an EpiPen with her everywhere she goes in case she encounters a dog. Well, that's the thing, like, if it does come down to it and they're like, yeah, you should, like, you might want to get a dog, I just wouldn't be able to have my sister come to my apartment anymore. Thank you for the 500 biddies and the 50 biddies. There is allergy therapy, but allergy therapy, like getting allergy shots and stuff, doesn't really work with severe allergies like that and can be really dangerous. Also, I don't know if they do allergy shots for animal allergies. I know they'll do it for like dust and like stuff like that, but I don't think they do it for animals. They do it for animals? I still don't, like, I think her doctor said that it would, like, she couldn't do the shot. I mean, she used to get allergy shots for some of her allergies, but I'm pretty sure she can't do anything for the animal allergies because of how severe it is. Like I said, she deathly allergic, needs an EpiPen, like highest possible allergy. Yeah, even to like a Sphinx cat. So she's allergic to their dander. So she's allergic to their fur, their skin, and I think their saliva. So like literally every part of the animal she's like extremely allergic to. Why are you spraying my face? Guys, I'm drinking an energy drink for the first time this week. Well, that's also part of the problem. Thank you for lurking. Oh, thank you for the resubby. From my understanding, seizure alert animals, like the service animals, are also extremely expensive. So that is a slight concern for me. Yeah. Thank you for the 1,000 biddies. Holy shit. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping to. I'm hoping that we just get like the right dose of the medication and that we can like, you know, hopefully not need to go down the surgery route, but we won't know for a few months. Cause like I've only been on Keppra for what has it been? Has it been like a month or two now? But that might not be enough time for us to determine if it's effective enough. Yeah, like, service animals can be extremely expensive. I don't know if there's, like, ways to, like, get money for, like, to get them, like, or if insurance. I don't know much about service animals, if I'm being honest. Thank you for 800 biddies. Guys, stop spoiling me! We got good news! You don't need to spoil me! I mean, not that you have to spoil me when I get bad news. Thank you. I hope you have a good night. Thank you so much. Yeah, exactly. And like when I was seeing my old neurologist, since I was on the highest dose of Lamictal, I wasn't on a very high dose of Keppra.
1, 2, 3, 4. I declare a donation war.
Thank you for the biddies. Oh my god. What is the max dose of Keppra that you can be on? Now I'm curious. Max dose of Keppra. 3,000 milligrams per day. Right now I'm on 2,000 milligrams. So we can still technically increase me by another 1,000 milligrams. If it came down to that. And I wouldn't be shocked, like, now that we know that it's possible that the Lamictal wasn't working because it was, like, you know, we thought it was the wrong type of epilepsy meds. I wouldn't be shocked if he would go down the route of trying a secondary medication. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Gloomy Squad. I wouldn't be shocked if he, like, decides to put me on a secondary medication that is meant more for generalized epilepsy if it came down to it. I remember Keppra making me moody as fuck, so they changed it to Briviact. See, I don't know many epilepsy meds. I haven't had many problems with Keppra so far, except for, like, oh my god, yesterday, chat, before I left the hospital, I had to wait there for a few hours because they injected me with 2,000 milligrams of Keppra at once into my IV. They were literally, like, injecting it into my IV. I felt so loopy afterwards getting that much medication in my system at once. Because essentially what my neurologist said was he wanted to keep me another day or two. Like, he really wanted to, because with the way that my brain activity was amping up, he was convinced that I was going to have a seizure within 24 to 48 hours. Like, a full-blown, like, tonic-clonic seizure. So he wanted to keep me longer, but I was, like, there for for 5 days, and obviously I really wanted to go home, which I'll get to that in a minute. Like, I'll explain everything with the hospital stay. But, yeah, he said that, he was giving me mercy, but he really wanted to keep me longer so we can actually catch a seizure on camera because of how bad the activity was getting. But they had to inject me with the medication because he was like, I'm really concerned if we don't inject you with 2,000 milligrams of your medication that you're gonna walk out into that parking lot and have a seizure in the parking lot. That's how much my brain activity was amping up. Yeah, I still cannot drive. No driving for the foreseeable future. I'm assuming I'm not gonna be able to drive until 2027 at the earliest. But, yeah, so oh my god, the biddies! You guys keep giving me biddies! Thank you for the 43, and then thank you for the 1,300! What the fuck? Thank you, guys! But, so essentially with the hospital visit, what was happening is, like, what made it miserable is, one, I could not shit. I could not shit the entire time I was there, because whenever I went to the bathroom, I had to have the door cracked, and there was a nurse sitting outside my bathroom door waiting for me to come out. It wasn't even, like, constipation, it's just my brain would not let me shit. Like, I had to shit, my brain just would not let me. No matter what. And 5 gifts? What the fuck? Thank you for the 5 gifted!
I'm being told that it's a skill issue, you just don't die.
Honestly, it was a skill issue. I really, like, I could not get out of, like, my poop shyness, so I could not shit for the fucking life of me. Chat, I know this is TMI, I literally came home yesterday, sat on the toilet, and immediately clogged it. With 5 days worth of shit. It was really bad. But yeah, I wanted to leave because I really needed shit. And then the second thing is I was not allowed to touch any devices that were plugged into the wall. So if my phone needed to be charged, if I needed to charge, like, my Switch or my laptop, like, my laptop did not work the entire stay because it turns out my battery is broken in my laptop and it needs to be plugged in all the time. I could not use them. So I was literally so bored the entire time I was there because all of my devices kept dying. And then I would have to, I mean, like, I could have the nurses, like, you know, plug them in and bring them to me and stuff. But, like, I'm a very paranoid person. Like, I don't want any of my stuff to break. Not saying that they would break them, but I was, like, really paranoid. And also, I didn't want to be a burden. Like, I know that they had, like, so much stuff that they had to do. Apparently, by day 5, I was the only epilepsy patient in the, like, unit. Because I guess... Who bought me gifts? I just got a notification on my phone that somebody bought me gifts. Thank you so much. Now I'm gonna put it on my leg and shock myself. But yeah, I didn't want to bother the nurses because I was in, like, the neuro unit where they are monitoring people nonstop. Like, anybody who needed, like, a lot of care because of their neurological issues, that's the unit I was in. So, like, I didn't want to bother the nurses when they have so many patients that have, like, high needs, and I'm just sitting here waiting to have a seizure. Don't worry, I won't put it around my neck. I'm gonna put it on my thigh. But yeah, so my devices kept dying. So I had to wait for Blaze to come every night to plug my devices in and to keep me company because I was so fucking bored. That was probably the most boring 5 days of my life. No, I'm not gonna, don't worry. I know I would never put it on my neck because I have heart issues and brain issues. I do not want to risk having, like, a heart attack or something. I don't know. I have too many health issues to put it on my neck and risk that. Use the collar whenever you when you play Truck Simulator, and every time you crash, Blaze shocks you. I mean, all the nurses, they were so sweet. Every nurse that helped me was extremely sweet. they were all so nice. My nurse yesterday was like chatting with me a bit. I essentially alluded to multiple that I was a streamer without like going into too much details. So thank you for the gifty. Oh, now I can make glizzies. I can make glizzies in a freaking toaster. Thank you so much. I didn't know what that was based off of the name. I had to physically look at the picture. That's why I was like, that's why I got silent for a second. I was like, what is that? Glizzy Sky, hell yeah! Could shock therapy help? I mean, technically the device that would get implanted in my brain if I need it would be shocking my brain. But it would be really low electrical pulses to just stop the seizure from happening. Yeah, I was like trying to be very careful with giving out information because I was like, I don't want them to like find me on the internet. Like, I don't know. That'd be kind of awkward to like explain and stuff. Although the nurse I was talking to yesterday, I was telling her about the streaming when I said I was a streamer, and she was like injecting me and stuff, and then she was like, "So what do you do with your streaming?" Because she's only a year younger than me, and I was just like, "Oh, I just like play video games and stuff." And she was like, "Oh, okay." She was like, "Honestly, whenever somebody says they're a streamer, I assume that they mean like OF." And I don't know, I just didn't get those vibes from you that you would be doing OnlyFans. I was like, no, I play Dark Souls. I play Dark Souls and I play scary games and stuff. I'm not doing OnlyFans. Oh, that's why I didn't even say I was a VTuber. I just said I played video games. Yeah, she was like, I just don't get that vibe from you that you would do that. Thank you for the hydrate. But yeah, most boring 5 days of my life. And let me tell you, chat, it is incredibly hard to sleep when you have a gigantic monitor next to you, watching you. Like, literally a person behind the monitor was watching me at all times. Hold on. I took a picture. Let me see if I could show you guys the picture without doxing the hospital I was in. Cause like I don't wanna dox the hospital I was in. Especially since I'm gonna be continuing going there for further treatment. Oh, and also, I didn't have I was in my own hospital room, but it was not private in the sense that there were no closed walls. It was just windows and an open like area. Right? There was no the only The only time the door was closed for my hospital room was when the fire alarm went off. The fire alarm went off yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before? I think it was 2 days ago. The fire alarm went off and then they fucking locked me in my room. I'm like, yo, if there's a fire in this hospital right now, I'm fucking dying because they just fucking locked me in this room and I'm attached to a wall with no way to get out of it. I was like, holy shit! I mean, it makes sense. They probably knew it was a drill. Like, literally every nurse and, like, employee and, like, doctor that, like, walked past my room, I was watching them. They were just casually walking and gave no fucks if there was a fire alarm going off. Alright, let me see. Ooh, okay, hold on. I think I have a picture that does not necessarily dox the location. Making sure that there's, like, nothing in the background that could be seen. Alright, let me draw on it real quick. Just to, like, block out background details. No, not that's highlighting background details. Alright. I cropped the photo as much as possible. Let me send it to myself on Discord, and then I'll pull it up on the screen. Just so you guys can see what I was going through. It was the most awkward experience of my life. I also looked like an egg, unlike my old, like, doctor's office where they, let my hair just, like, be out. They wrapped my head up with gauze and put a sock on my head. Okay. Alright. I got some pictures. Bam, bam, bam. I didn't try to do it right this time around. It's not over. Okay. Alright. Are you guys ready for this? Hospital. Chat, this was right next to my bed. I slept right next to this. And it tells you that they're present and watching you. And then when they're listening to you, like actually listening to your audio, like what you're talking about or doing, it tells you on the bottom that the person watching you is listening to the sounds in your room. So if you're having a conversation, it tells you that they're listening to you. They probably heard me fart several times in my sleep. I guarantee it. Hell yeah, 3-stream streak. I'll leave this up for when ad breaks are done so people can see. Nearly all rooms in a hospital is made to be a so-called fire cell. They're made to be able to survive a fire outside. Oh, that makes sense. And as you guys could see, like, that's like glass. That's all glass. So people were able to stare at me at all times. It was funny. Oh my god. Yesterday, when I was like getting ready to be discharged and they detached me and they were like, all right, Gloomy, you're finally free to like get up and walk around without somebody watching you. She had to call the person to tell them to not like sound the alarm and that I'm okay and I'm free to move around and stuff. And I actually turned the camera on the person that's been watching me. So like I saw who's been watching me the entire time. And I just kind of looked at it. I went, hi. No, I did not talk to them because it was so awkward. And from my understanding, like, they technically...
My asshole just burns for no reason.
Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Gloomy Squad. From my understanding, like, they watched 16 people at a time. So, like, when it says that they're listening to you, that means, like, they're specifically watching, like, 100% you. Like, they're on your thing, looking only at you. Hey, what's up? So chat, for those of you who were in the ad break, I was just saying that while I was in the hospital, this is like an actual picture. This is a camera and a monitor that was watching me 24/7. Just a person behind a screen watching me and listening to me. And oh my god, so their main thing, like the reason why this camera was on was not so that they could like watch my seizures. This was actually to make sure I didn't get out of the bed without a nurse present. Like that was their main thing, was to make sure that I wasn't like getting up and doing anything that could be considered like high risk behavior, because I needed to be monitored at all times in case I like, you know, decided to get up and walk around and then I dropped to the floor and had a seizure. So there was this one time the nurse came in the room to let me pee, but I guess she was off camera and they didn't notice. So like she, you know, got me out of bed and stuff like that. And then the fucking alarm started blaring from this machine and the bed, because the bed always went off every time I got off. And it starts flashing red to get nurses' attentions, to like be like, hey, she's on the loose! She's on the loose! She's walking around! Stop her! And like the nurse literally had to jump into camera view and be like, I'm here! I'm here! It's okay! I told her she could get up! Yeah, exactly. So it was so fucking awkward. And then I got a picture of my egghead. Do you guys want to see my egghead? I don't show my face in it. It's just my head because I thought it was funny. Hold on. Egg head. Look at my egghead. They had to put, like, a bunch of, like, gauze around all the equipment, and then they put, like, a sock over it to, like, hold it in place so that it wouldn't, like, move. But it was funny, so you remember how it's freaking out about how long my hair is? And I was like, "Oh my god, they're gonna, like, you know, struggle with the equipment with how big my like, how long my hair is." Uh, Luckily, they just, you know, braided my hair. Like, the lady who did it put, I think, 4 different braids in my hair going backwards and then just, like, put the electrodes in between, like, the spaces of the braids. So, luckily, they had no problems with my hair. But my forehead right now, chat, looks like a fucking mess. I'm not gonna share a picture of it because it looks so gross. I literally look like I'm breaking out in acne all over my forehead. I had an allergic reaction to the electrodes like I always do. And I just have like a whole bunch of red bumps and hives all over my forehead. It looks so fucking gross. Luckily, my chest isn't bad. Normally, I have really bad allergic reactions on my chest from yeah, it's the adhesive. Like, I'm really bad with adhesive. Uh, the only mark I have on my chest is, underneath my titty, ironically. Because they had 2 different sets of heart monitors. They had the heart monitors that were, like, connected to the, EEG machine, and then they had, like, an actual, like, machine that had to be, like, on me at all times that was tracking my heart. And one of the electrodes for that got stuck underneath my bra because, like, I wore my bra the whole time. If I was gonna have a person watching me 24/7, I didn't want them to see my titties flopping around everywhere because I got big old titties. So, now I have, like, a big cut underneath my titty because it got stuck under the underwire, and it was pressing down on the monitor, and the gel and adhesive literally, like, burned my skin. It was so bad. But luckily, they had me on allergy meds every single day because of the allergic reactions, and the first night when it got really bad, they gave me Benadryl. So, like, for the most part, my allergies were not bad except for my forehead. That's where it's, like, really fucking bad. But, oh my god. I'm just so happy to be home. I'm scrolling the stream talking about titties flopping about. Listen, if you're on monitor and having a person or stranger staring at you 24/7, you don't want your titties flying around everywhere. I mean, maybe in the future, if I get more used to the testing, like, I will stop caring. But, yeah, I did not want my titties just flopping about for everybody to see. Gotta go back to work. Thanks for making my day better, Gloomy. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great day. Just let them flop around. Yeah, I know, like, I know they don't care, but my brain's, like, so, like, self-conscious about my titties flopping around. I hate bra underwires so much. Maybe I'm lucky with my medium titties. I also hate underwires. I never wear a bra at home. That was the other thing that fucking sucked. Chat, my room, my hospital room, everybody says hospitals are freezing. Mine was 80 fucking degrees. Like, the literal thermometer in the room said 80 fucking degrees. And I sit at home in, like, 68 degrees with no pants on. So for me to be in a hospital room at 80 degrees with pants on, because chat, they gave me the option to wear a hospital gown, but they were like, oh, if you want to just wear, if you're fine with wearing your t-shirt the whole time, like, you could just wear what you're wearing. Like, it doesn't matter as long as you're fine with wearing it. And I'm like, you know what? I don't know if I'm gonna like the texture of a hospital gown, so I guess I'll wear my t-shirt and like sweatpants and stuff. Oh my god, my ass was drenched in sweat. My ass was drenched in sweat. It made my underwear soaked from the sweat, from how hot it was in there. It was so bad. Yeah, I had no onion smell the entire time I was there, which is kind of crazy. I was really hoping I would get it so that I can, like, be like, "Hey, doc, why do I smell like this randomly?" But my body just decided to not do it for some reason. But also, then again, I didn't have any seizures while I was there, because I guess my brain was like, "Whatever, no seizures, no seizures for you." Yeah, I had swamp ass, like, real bad. I had literal swamp ass. It was, like, horrific. Yeah, exactly. It's literally like my body was like, "Oh, we're being watched. No symptoms for you then." I even told the doctor that. I'm like, "I have symptoms all the time at home." And then the second I come here, my brain's like, "Nah, behave." I mean, at least it was still, like, doing the activity. Like, they were able to see, like, literally day 1, they immediately saw the epileptic activity, like, pretty fucking quickly. Like, they can immediately, like, probably I don't know how quickly, but he said very quickly they were able to see that, I do in fact have epilepsy, because like, the activity was happening so quickly. But seizures? Nah, nah. Because why have a seizure while you're being tested for epilepsy, you know? I remember the onion smell TikTok being what brought me here. Yeah, I had no onion smell, uh, no seizures. I mean, he still thinks I had at least one, and the resident said that he thought that I had one based off of, like, what I explained to him that happened the one night. But like I said, nothing showed up on the EEG when I did have seizures. Maybe your apartment is cursed. Wildflower brought that up. She was like, "Maybe there's, like, something wrong with your apartment." But the thing is I was diagnosed with the epilepsy, and this was all happening before we moved into our apartment. Uh, this all started, like, months before we moved into our apartment. Gotta head out, glad it went well, and continues to go well. A new fan art coming soon, yeah! I'm excited, have a good one! Probably your diet at home. I mean, it's possible. I think it could also just be that, like, I actually, I have no explanation. But also, like, I feel like sometimes bodies just do that. Like, when you're in a new environment, like, it just bodies can be really annoying and just not do what it needs to do. Like, what it usually does, you know? Yeah, yeah. It gets a little shy. My body and brain gets a little shy and decides to not do what it normally does. But yeah. I'm just happy we got answers. Yeah, I did not put the pew pew emoji on Twitch. I don't have any emote slots left. Stage fright brain, basically. My brain has fucking stage fright and can't, seize in front of a doctor. I'm just happy that it at least, like, could not control itself and, like, showed a ton of activity the entire time I was there. 'Cause that, like I said, my doctor said the longer I was there, the more they were learning. Like, my brain just kept getting weirder and weirder as I stayed. But also, like I said, he said that if I was there probably another day or 2, he's almost positive I would have had, like, a full-blown seizure because of, like, how much the, activity was going up in my brain. But he didn't wanna torture me anymore. "Hey, what's up, Joshy?" He didn't want me to be tortured. Literally a medical anomaly. That's what I was saying to the resident. I was just like, "My body is just fucking weird." I swear there's gonna be studies about me one day. Not in, like, a narcissistic way, just like, my case is so weird. Like, everything about my case is weird. Was the hospital food good? No. Not until I started ordering, like, my own food and picked what I was gonna get. The breakfast was never bad, except for the one day I had blueberry pancakes and I didn't like them. Uh, the last 2 days I ordered, like, a sandwich and that was fine. There's also, like, a restaurant, not like a restaurant, like, it's a to-go place. Um, my stepmom said they're really good. I obviously couldn't be like, "Hey, hospital, can you get me that food instead?" But the one night Blaze got me a grilled cheese from there, and it was really good. And he got me strawberry lemonade every day, so that was nice. Did you see on Twitter where I said, "I hope you have a seizure"? Yeah. I was really, like, counting down. I'm like, "Come on, brain, fucking seize already. I wanna go home." Because they kept saying, like, "We really don't wanna release you until you have a seizure." But then, yeah, like I said, one of the reasons they didn't keep me any longer too is that he was worried about me getting a blood clot because I wasn't allowed to walk around. I had to be in the bed unless I was going to the bathroom. Like, they had to give me a shot every day to prevent blood clots. I actually have bruises on my stomach from the shots that they were giving me. Um, and also he said that, like, while hospitals are very clean, there's a lot of sick people in hospitals, and, like, he didn't want me to, like, catch anything. And I'm like, "Yeah, see, I get sick every time I leave the house, so, it's probably happening anyway." Yeah, they gave me the shots in my stomach. I don't know why. I'm assuming that's just, like, where that shot's supposed to go. Yeah, exactly. He didn't want me to get a hospital-borne infection, and he wanted to make sure I didn't get blood clots. Yeah. It's actually funny, I didn't know that I had bruises all over my stomach, and when I was
ranked 80% masochist for
Thank you for the
nothing.
follow, welcome to the Gloomy Squad. When I was trying to sleep, like, after, like, I wanna say on day 3, I was, like, laying on my side, and I'm like, "Damn, why does it hurt so much to lay on my side?" And I assumed it was because I wasn't shitting. I was like, "Maybe because 'cause I'm not shitting, that's why it's hurting, like, I'm just too, like, clogged and it's, like, painful," and then, I think it was yesterday when I went to go change, I saw in the mirror the bruises on my stomach, and I was like, "Oh my god! Holy shit!" Which, I mean, I guess it makes sense because it said on, like, how hospitals have, like, a board where, like, they have, like, your nurses, why you're there, your pain, and then it says, like, medications and side effects of medications, like, if you have any. It did say bruises, but I assumed that they were just saying it's a potential side effect. I didn't realize they wrote bruises on the board because I was having that as a side effect. Oh, that makes sense. Although that shit fucking burned. Every time I got that shot, it fucking burned for so long. Like, it stung and it burned, and I couldn't get comfortable for a while after getting the shots because it hurt so much. But I was like, whatever. If it's gonna stop me from getting a blood clot, I'll deal with it. Ah. But I'm happy I was able to come with you guys with, like, a good update for once instead of a bad update. That's at least exciting. Although now I'm just, like, so paranoid. I'm, like, extra paranoid. How am I feeling today? I feel out of it. My doctor did say that I'm at higher risk of having seizures, especially this weekend. So he said I have to really take it easy this weekend and just, not do much, just relax. Because he doesn't want me to, go right back into things and then have a bad seizure because I took it too quickly. Yeah, I'll always take hugs and head pats. But yeah. Hey, what's up? Welcome in. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. I would say that we'd do some gaming today, but with my audio all being broken, I don't think we're gonna do that. But we can keep chatting for a little bit longer. I want to give people a chance to come in case they have any more questions and stuff. Do you guys have any questions that I can, like, answer for you potentially if I actually know the, like, answer? So I'm gonna be honest, I'm still a little confused about the whole epilepsy thing. I think I'm never gonna truly understand. Although Blaze, like, now that we know that I have generalized epilepsy, like, Blaze was like, "Okay, now this makes sense." Like, he said that there were times in my sleep where, like, my body would jerk and, like, kinda weirdly, like, almost like I was shuffling too much in bed trying to get comfortable, and that I'd be making weird sounds with my mouth and weird mouth movements. So we're thinking that might have been a tonic-clonic seizure when that happened. Thank you for the head pats. I used to be good at drawing, but then I broke my arm. Now my arm shakes too much to draw. That sucks. Have you tried digital art? With digital art, they have some stabilization tools to help you, like, if your arm is shaking too much, to still kind of make straighter lines and stuff. Maybe that might help, but that really sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. I know that, like, for me in the past, after my brain injury, there was a period of time where I had tremors really bad, and I used to always do my makeup a lot. Even though I'm not, like, the most feminine person in the world, uh, I always did my makeup. Like, I love winged eyeliner, and I used to be so good at it that if I was a passenger in a car and the car was moving, I'd be able to do perfect wings in a moving vehicle. Like, it was never a problem. And then after my brain injury, it became so difficult for me to do winged eyeliner that, like, I would just be shaking nonstop. I would have to hold my arm with my other arm to try to hold it steady to, like, do a full wing. It was, like, the biggest pain in the ass ever. Eventually, it got better. I hope that you can, like, maybe find other ways that you can still express your creativity. 'Cause I know how much that sucks when you, like, lose control of, like, you know, parts of your body and stuff from stuff not working. I took my meds. Thank you for the reminder, though. Oh, that's the other thing. I need to make sure that I'm good with my meds from here on out, too. I mean, I should be okay. Although like I said, what was interesting is we found that my blood pressure was low all the time. I see my cardiologist in 2 weeks. I might bring it up to whoever I'm seeing that day. When I say my cardiologist, I mean I go to the office. I usually see, like, one of his assistants when I go because he's, like, so busy. Howdy, what's up? How's it going? Bum, 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 bum. Why? I've noticed for some reason, OBS, like, I don't know if it's OBS or if it was, like, the widget that I use for my music. It, like, got really fucky and made everything huge. And I don't know why. Usually it'd have that like that. Just vibing? Hell yeah. On the bright side, I could still be a voice actor. He's very good at mimicking voices and accents. Hell yeah, that's awesome. I used to really want to be an actress. That was, like, a big goal of mine. And then I never went through with it. Then I became a preschool teacher. I almost shit myself, deleted Twitter on my phone, and couldn't log in my second account, but I handled it. Oh my god, that was the reason why I was answering on Discord with my alt account occasionally, the past few days is because, I was using my iPad, and for some reason on my iPad, it's logged into my alt account, and I was like, "Shit, I don't know my password or, like, I don't have my authenticator if I need it." I mean, I guess I have it on my phone, but, like, I was trying to conserve my phone battery. So, like, I didn't wanna log out of the account and then not be able to get back into either account. So I was like, "Alright, I guess I'll just use my alt account when I'm on my iPad if I need to." I'm gonna be going now. Have a great night, everyone. Have a great night! Thanks for stopping in! Thank you for stopping by. Alright, chat. I don't know how much longer I'm gonna last because I'm getting really tired. That's, like, the one downside after having all that testing done is I'm so fucking tired and fatigued. Like, my brain just feels like it was, like, put in a blender. Oh, I'm so tired of out of it. Do you like I love naps. I love naps so much. I actually napped a lot when I was in the hospital. Keep myself entertained. Nothing better than getting home and getting comfortable again. Literally, chat, after I took my shit yesterday, I hopped in the shower and I almost fell asleep in the shower. 'Cause I was, like, finally home and comfortable, and I was like, I needed a shower because I fucking reeked from the swamp ass and sweating all week. And then, when I was, in the shower, I got so comfortable from the warmth that I started to fall asleep, and I was like, "Fuck, I gotta get out of here and just go lay down." Ah. Why must I have a vivid imagination now? Ah. All right, chat. On that note, I think I'm gonna end stream here. I'm gonna go rest up. I will stream tomorrow. I gotta figure out what's wrong with OBS. I don't know if it's an OBS issue or a wavelength issue. Thank you for the resubby! Those 7 months! Hell yeah! But I gotta figure out what's wrong with OBS and try to fix it and all that fun stuff. God, why is my voice getting raspy? I've barely talked all week! I've been mostly silent until Blaze game! Yeah, let me see who I can, send you guys to. What friends I got that I can send you guys to. Let's see. Oh, also we reached 9,000 followers! Hell yeah! Alright, let's see. I am going to send you guys... Let's see. I am going to send you guys to Meat Spud. He's doing some art. So I'm gonna send you guys to Meat Spud. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. I will see you guys tomorrow. I don't know what time. It depends on how I feel and how well I sleep and all of that tonight. I'm happy to have been able to give you guys good news for once. That's like super fucking exciting for me. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good night. I love you guys. Goodbye.